Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. It's 10 a.m. and we're meeting to continue the discussion for the reconciliation of comp vacation time and department overages. I will turn it over to, we're just here to get a basically a report from each department that does have these issues and see where they're at and if they've improved or not. So we'll start with the roads.
Perfect. So we only had issues with two of our employees. Both employees are down in the Marble Creek district.
Okay.
We've made some strides with one of the employees. Last we were here, he had a little over 263 hours. He does have it down to 232 hours. So that was a big chunk, and taking that time off was in between call-outs and extra hours. The amount of call-outs that we have been seeing down there due to this wet season with rocks, we've had multiple slides in one day. This particular employee has worked the last 9 days straight with no time off, and so those two employees have switched from taking those extra hours worked as comp time to taking them as overtime. So we are just, paying them overtime. That could become problematic on our budget down the road, so we're going to keep an eye on it. But right now, this employee with the major amount of comp hours is our supervisor, and to date, he has 25 hours of overtime just in this pay period thus far. So something we're monitoring, we're working on getting down. The other employee hasn't really had the opportunity to take much time off because the employee with the higher amount has taken some time, but we are still actively working on it. We'll do the best we can to chip away at it.
Okay. All right. Any questions from our clerk on that?
Well, it's going to be hard for them. And I totally get that. It's going to be hard. But maybe we should really watch your overtime.
Right.
Paying out. Because I don't know that we budgeted a bunch.
We do have a decent amount budgeted for that. However, we don't know what the winter's going to look like.
Right.
And so everybody draws off of that same pool. So otherwise, we flip it and give, if he decides to take the extra hours as comp time, then we run into the problem of him accruing hundreds of hours. So we have to try to balance the scale with how we want to manage this.
And is there any way that you can have somebody rotate down there?
Unfortunately, this time of year, there's not. I mean, we're understaffed. We still need 3 employees, and we're down 3 employees for wintertime in the Smelterville district. We have cut our numbers, so the only district right now that we're fully staffed with our temps and everything, we have 2. We have the Murray district, which has 3 employees, which is still cut down from 4, so we're 25% less there, and we do have full staffing in the Osborne district number 3. We have all of the temps, and so we can sometimes float them if necessary up here, but for them to drive down, because they can't go over Moon Pass this time of year, so it's at least an hour and a half depending on the roads to get down there, and then that leaves us short up here. So because that district is the furthest away and harder to get to, that is the most problematic district to fix an issue like this, and we can't not go out. I mean, the rock slides have been blocking. They don't go out just to go out, and these haven't even been snow call-outs yet. We're not even into the snow call-outs. We're into the rocks, which has been extreme this year.
Okay. Any further questions from the board or any ideas?
No.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunately, it is what it is right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Planning and zoning.
Oh, we made some moderate gains. I didn't have much to begin with as far as comp time goes, so I'm near 0 and 0.38. I'm not quite sure how I get 0.38. Must have been a half of an hour or something, but somehow I got 0.38 comp time. Down to there, Trish was able to reduce hers by a few days, and so she's down to 12. And then James is still riding at 40 hours for comp time, and but he has some time planned for takeoff over the Christmas New Year's time frame, so that should whittle that down mostly significantly. The other one would just be the vacation hours that Trish has and myself. I have 196 vacation hours, but so trying to get those vacation hours down to the 120 is your goal, to find the time to take off to get those hours whittled down. And I did take some time off for Thanksgiving, but then I got paid and I got 10 more hours added back on. So it's kind of tough when you got to take 20 to lose 10, you know, because there are crews every month. So it's a tough one to take that much time at once off. So, but our plan is to keep taking as much time as possible off and start taking extra days a week and just trying to whittle at it. And it's about the only way we're going to get it done.
Okay. And this time of year would probably be easier since it's maybe a little slower.
Should be a little. It hasn't really proved to be much slower, but
Yeah, we haven't had any weather to do that. So, any questions from the board, the clerk?
No, just keep encouraging your people to be able to take their time is it for now.
Commissioner Dills, any comments, questions?
No, it's the same problem. Where we have short staffs, we end up with this problem.
Exactly. Okay. Do you have any people in your office, clerk, that or should we?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Our sheriff.
All right. So I have quite a few employees. It looks like they have a lot of comp time and vacation time. So, but the jail side of it, as we all know, is short staff, so there's nothing I can do about that. I did bring back somebody today that was on admin leave per ICRIM, so that'll help with the jail part a little bit. I do have something else kind of planned to maybe get that jail part covered a little bit better, so we'll see. Then I start asking these people to start taking their comp time. So,
Okay.
So, Sheriff, our policy and procedure says that they to accrue only 40 hours of comp. I didn't know if you were aware of that. That's the goal, is to get everybody down to 40 hours. And then 120 hours of vacation.
I didn't know that.
Okay. And why we are here is because we've got people that have got many hours over 40 and have had those hours for a number of years. So we're trying to get that down because it does no good for us to give them comp hours, say now, and you're supposed to use it within 90 days, which is hard to do with some of our departments.
Yes.
It's really hard to do. But what is happening is we have people that have got comp hour and they were getting comp hour, getting paid this rate of pay. Well, now they've been bumped up into another rate of pay. So now we're paying these comp hours at a higher rate of pay, which we need to get away from because it's just not good. It's not good business. It's not healthy.
And I know that with the dogs, they earn comp time.
Yes.
So I kind of want to change that around a little bit. Have it happen during their shift. So if they're on 10 hours and they gain, say, 2 hours of comp time per shift or per week or however it works, then they can, if it's say a 10-hour day, they work 8 hours actually on the road and use the other 2 for the dog time. So just take it out of their shift time instead of the comp time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything further, Madam Clerk?
Well, I thought it would be interesting for you to know. So we'll do roads and bridges. If we had to pay out today for just roads and bridges, we would be 10,400.
And that's for all of them?
Yeah, and that's comp.
Okay, comp only.
No, comp and, yes, that's just comp. It appears that's just comp.
Okay.
Okay. And then, Dan, you are at 1,311. Your building and grounds that you guys oversee is 1,263. And Justice Fund / jail is 15,684.
That don't count the patrol side.
It does.
Okay.
And let me write this down. PR040. And I can just give you, I don't know who oversees. You can just have these. That's your departments.
Did you have one for me?
Nope.
Disaster services.
But I could,
Mine's separate because.
right?
that
And I
gets
forgot.
structured.
And I forgot that you're the oddball.
Well, that is, yeah, I can calculate how much that is, but
Which one?
111.
111. Okay.
I don't show up on this one.
Yep, you don't. And I absolutely didn't catch that. My apologies.
No harm, no foul.
But other than that, we're lower than what we were. So go us. I think. I mean, at least we're on the road of trying to fix it. And we knew that it wasn't going to be fixed
In a month.
in a month or two. I mean, it was going to take a long while. But we really do need to start hammering down.
Keep working on it.
And hard.
It's been helpful for me and folks in my office that understand the policy behind what you would get paid for, what you won't get paid for, and then fiscally how it affects, like you said, if we carry vacation time from year to year, and then you change, it's paying money out of one budget in a future budget. That's what makes our budgeting.
Well, and we
problematic and
don't
difficult.
budget. Your budget doesn't budget all that amount. Your budget doesn't.
Right.
We would never make a budget if we did that. So we are gambling.
So it's been helpful to know the policies and the reasons.
Yeah.
Also, there's a little more in mind of, well, not only do I just need to take time off, but it's a fiscal responsibility to do so.
Right. And encourage them to use up their comp time before they use up other time. Because ultimately the comp time is supposed to only be 90 days. So if they're out sick, they can use their comp time. They can use comp.
Yeah.
You approve it on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further questions from the board? Comments?
No?
Should we go ahead and schedule another meeting in a couple months?
Yeah.
Does that sound fine? So we kind of see where we're at and,
I think that's a good idea.
okay. 2 months, 1 month? What do you
Two
think?
months?
I think 2, because that'll get us through this month and then December. So people taking extra time off and
Okay.
And I know that we're all short-staffed, and I appreciate the what we're all up against. But remember, they are employees, and we cannot guilt them for using their time. We have to be very, very careful. It is their time. They've earned that time.
Yeah.
They can't earn it, and then we always grunt when they want to take it.
We do have one of our employees that's directly under the board that's over. How do we want to handle that since there's 3 of us and we can't meet with him together? Do we want to
Yeah, we can just have one of us talk to him about it.
maybe get him to take some half days around the holidays and use up some hours? Or
Yeah.
And he did use quite a few from the last time we spoke. He did his,
He's aware of it.
yeah, he's aware, and he did his trip and used the comp.
Okay.
Because I think,
And that's how we've been trying to, being short-staffed, it's 2 hours here and half a
Right.
day here and 2 hours here and half a day here.
right,
Doesn't take so much away from the workload, but it gets 4 hours off the books in a week. It gets 8 hours off the books, every week or two. And that way, it doesn't dramatically take a whole day out of the workload. Take off early in the day. Well, everybody else will deal with a few hours extra. But, that's
extra
we're
long
making
lunch type thing.
Yeah. Take your time, go do your appointments, go do your thing, and then take your time off. And all we do is whittle at it.
I agree. All right, if there's nothing further, we'll go ahead and do this for 2 months out.
February.
And we have any public comments?
February.
Yeah, I brought this up before about supervisors have to sign off on this comp time before you accrue it. I think I was told they did. I don't know that for sure. And this is a problem, in the last 10, 11 years, I've come to meetings, I don't know how many, where they knew there was an issue because they came in and asked to have extra time to use up their comp time. And evidently, nobody checked on it, and the time kept on going. I believe this is in the employee handbook that says you can only accrue so much comp time and so much vacation too. So there's a lot of things that have gone wrong in this.
So a question that I have that kind of comes off of what Matt said, I don't know that this is addressed in the handbook. It's always been my understanding that the employee has the choice of, if they have to work those extra hours, if they want to take it as comp or overtime, at least in our department because we have the overtime budget. Can we, is it would we have the authority at this point to tell them that you can only take it this way or you could only take it that way? Or is that something that would need to be changed within the policy for us to be able to do that?
It's at your discretion.
at whose discretion? The supervisor?
Supervisor and board.
I
So, employees are compensated in accordance with the subject to decisions of the Board of County Commissioners as annual budgets are set. They're subject to increase, reduce, or status quo maintenance. The elected official or department head may make suggestions about salary compensations and other pay system concerns, but the final decision regarding compensation policy rests with the Board of Commissioners. These are compliance overtime in addition to this is on page 23 of our personnel policy. D, overtime compensatory time policy. In addition to an employee's classification which set forth elsewhere in the policy, all employees are classified as exempt salaried or non-exempt hourly for purposes of complying with the Federal Fair Labor Act. Exempt employees perform work that qualifies for the professional, executive, administrative exemptions and do not qualify for overtime. Okay, so let's get to this. Okay, overtime for non-exempt hourly employees will be allowed only when authorized by the appropriate supervisor or when absolutely necessary in an emergency. Employees may not work any hours outside of their scheduled work hour unless the supervisor has given advance authorization of the unscheduled work. Employees may not start work early, finish work late, work during meal breaks, or perform any other extra overtime work unless they are authorized to do so and report it on the employee's timesheet. An employee who fails to report inaccurately reports. Okay, I know there's somewhere in here that says what you're saying. Okay, non-exempt employees entitled to overtime compensation will either accrue compensatory, is that how you pronounce it? Compensatory, thank you, time or overtime pay as established by policy adopted by the Board of County Commissioners. Compensatory,
Compensatory.
compensatory, that's a hard word for me. Time or overtime pay for work in excess of 40 hours or in excess of the work period interval established for law enforcement officers or firefighters will be computed at 1.5 hours for each additional hour worked. The Board of County Commissioner has set a maximum accumulation of 40 hours for comp time. Any comp time shall be used within 90 days following the pay period in which it is earned, unless the requested extension for approved by the supervisor. Comp time may be used whenever required by a supervisor or when requested by an employee with the concurrence of the supervisor. Use of requested comp time will depend upon ability of the office department to tolerate requested absence. If repeated requests to use comp time are denied by the supervisor or reasonable opportunities to use such are unavailing, an employee must be paid out for such accrued. So I guess maybe where I read it, where there was a choice was when
how they take the hours, they use the hours.
Is when we were talking about holiday.
Sure.
If you work a holiday, and we're not going into this, but in our manual,
sure,
that's where there is a choice. When you work a holiday, you get to do one of two things. You get to get a pay 1.5 or straight time, and then take the hours in comp time.
Yes.
One or the other.
So absent clarification of how we authorize whether it's accrued overtime or comp time, me personally as a department head with the size of staff that I manage, I would like that to not be my discretion to decide who can take as what time. I would like that to be a board decision and direction given on the board because it's never been that way before. So if we're going to move into that direction, I would feel more comfortable as a department head having a decision like that come from the board.
Of either taking in comp
not taking, but if they want, if they get the extra hours and they have been authorized for those hours as per the personnel policy, it's always been the employee's choice if our overtime line item has not gone over, if they take it as comp or overtime, and that's how we've always operated in our department. And so to make a change like that, just on my discretion, because when they fill out their time card and they've worked, 2 hours, they either get 2 hours of overtime or 3 accrued hours of comp time. And that's never been dictated by supervisors before in the past. So it was kind of a suggestion, I think, by Lori in this meeting that we, we kind of dictate that. So if we are going to dictate that, I would like that to be a board decision rather than up to the discretion of the department head or supervisor. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that.
We'll probably have to think about it.
Sure.
I gotta review legal.
Because on one hand, it'd be a way to dwindle the hours down. Because if I could say I've got 40 hours, I don't, but if I've got 40 hours of comp time, if I could take 20 of it and pay in my check, now it's off the books and I get a few extra bucks in my paycheck. And then it's done. But if I take comp time, it's just time. I just got to take Thursday off, and then it's straight time on my paycheck later. So the money coming out from the county is the same, but it's how I get it as an employee. Do I get it in cash in my check, or do I get it as time off? I can see where it might, if I've got a bunch, that might be an advantage. I might want some extra money in my paycheck, and I'll take 20 hours this month. And it's problematic with the hours that have been accumulated over time, but you wouldn't want to take it all at once because then we're paying out those large dollar amounts all at once. But that would be a way to encourage employees to take some of your hours as overtime and get it in your paycheck. You'll pay more in taxes, you'll pay more in whatever, but you have that choice. So is that what you're getting at, is the choice shouldn't be yours, the choice should be?
Well, mine is more how they accrue it rather than how they redeem it or get, paid out or use it. Because we have to make the choice when we put the time in arts and we do, we report that to Tammy, and then she logs it in arts and it goes towards their accruals. The choice has to be made at the time as to whether or not we're taking those as overtime hours or as comp hours.
I'll use my departments as a way. I have the majority, I would say 99% of my employees, they get comp. I have a couple that have to take it in overtime pay because they absolutely can't leave.
Sure.
So like your gentleman's down in Marble Creek,
yes,
chances are they're not going to use comp time. They're not going to be able to until spring, and you can start sending somebody down there. That's how I do it.
Sure.
Because I know the rest of them, we can all work each other.
Sure.
We can work and cross.
And so I think that really lends to the point that I'm trying to make. I don't know if I've spoken it very well, but
But you know your employees better than the board would.
But does the wording in the personnel policy give me that power? Because I've already heard, some blowback from some of the employees from my department who've watched these meetings. They read through the personnel policy. They like to follow the personnel policy, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when it's not spelled out, I would like those decisions to not be my discretion, because with the number of employees that I manage, it could look like, well, I'm allowing this guy to take it as overtime and I'm not allowing this guy, to take it as overtime, those types of things. So I think I would be looking for some clarification from the board. Obviously not today, because that's a bigger issue and things probably need to be looked into. I think it's difficult to say. Now, if you said the personnel policy says you accrue a maximum of 40 and you can accrue no more, then maybe we take the stance as a county that once you've hit 40, you have to go into overtime. The flip side to that is that can become very problematic because we've only budgeted X amount of overtime and we still have to go out and respond to emergencies. So, some different angles to look at. But I can agree with you 100% that, comp hours of that size are very problematic.
Okay. Did you have anything further, Mr. Boehner? Did you?
No, not right now. Well, except for what Jessica was saying about having the overtime. You've got the money in the straight line item budget of the salaries.
Yes.
That you're paying this comp time from. You would still have to come back, you would have to add that into your overtime budget.
We would have to add that into our overtime budget, correct.
So you'd just be switching out of one fund into another one.
Yep.
Be a little tougher come budget time for departments to figure out how much overtime they're looking at, but.
All right, is there anything else further? The board?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we'll continue it, or we'll set it up in a couple months, come back and see where we're at, and I'll research that a little bit.
Perfect.
And I understand what you're saying. I don't know how you've just been doing comp time. Is that
it's been the choice. So we have about half of our employees that take it as overtime, half that take it as comp. It's never been dictated to them, you have to take it as this or you have to take it as that. In our department, it's always been given a choice, absent anything in the personnel policy.
Nothing against the board, but I don't want the board dictating how my people are going to take the time.
Sure, and I definitely understand that. But
because
I worry about the legal side of things. I would almost like to hear, the legal side of things if we're picking and choosing which employees without some sort of a policy or directive. So that's always what worries me about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's nothing further. We're adjourned. Thank you.